Picture it. Pittsburgh, 2011. It was spring. A 30-something African-American woman is sitting in her living room, minding her business, watching The Real Housewives of Atlanta, as you do. And without warning, her face begins to twitch. She hears a terrible ringing and tapping in her ear. Her jaw closes up. It's hard to swallow. And just as fast as it happens, it goes away. She's not sure what she experienced. Is it a stroke? She wondered if it was Bell's palsy. She's not too vain, but she did run to the mirror to see if her face and smile remained symmetrical. And then it happened again, tingling on the face, muscle fasciculation, her jaw closed, and then there was this awful ringing and tapping in her ear. At the time, she had access to great health care, and she made an appointment with her PCP. She explains her symptoms, and the doctor begins her examination, and then it happened, the spasm. The only difference is that the frequency of the spasm intensified. Imagine a woman in labor. The contractions are now 1 to 2 minutes apart. She asked with her jaw closed, "Doctor, what is it?" And the doctor replied, "I don't know, but let's figure it out." Blood tests were ordered, and then the dreaded MRI of the head. Her symptoms got worse while she waited for the insurance approval. She now had a headache, and not just any old headache. She had this pain in the center of her head. You know that feeling when you eat ice cream too quickly? Brain freeze? It was awful. Every time she changed position from sitting to standing, laying down, laughing, singing, brain freeze. Okay, so have you kept up with all of the symptoms? Tingling on the face, muscle fasciculation, jaw closing, trouble swallowing, the gag reflex. It wasn't working. She would eat food and the food would just slide down her throat. The ringing and tapping in her ear, tinnitus, brain freeze. Our girl, she was in bad shape. She has the MRI and it's discovered that her brain herniated. It was drooping out of the skull and into her spinal canal. Now listen, you don't have to be a doctor to know that the brain is not supposed to be in your spinal canal. There's no room for that. The diagnoses, Chiari malformation. Her PCP, very upfront and honest, "This is not my wheelhouse." And so she referred her to a neurologist. The neurologist was kind, but really did not know much about Chiari malformation. He gave her meds to treat the symptoms, and they did not perform as intended. During one of her appointments, she expressed her concerns about the medication and the pain that she was in. It was beginning to affect her quality of life. The doctor dismissed her concerns. "Your brain isn't herniating that far. You shouldn't be in that much pain." Frustrated, she takes a beat, and so she tries again. This time, she pulls out her notes and articles she found on the internet and hands it to the doctor. He barely looks at it. She says, "I think I need to see a surgeon." He shakes his head in disagreement. "It's not necessary," he says. So she takes another beat as she realizes he is not listening. The neurologist admittedly did not know much about Chiari malformation. He didn't seem to want to learn. He failed to seek help or guidance from someone who did. Dismissed, disappointed. That's how she felt leaving the office that day. But she would not be defeated. She hopped on the internet and began her search for a neurosurgeon. She typed, "Chiari malformation, brain surgery, Pittsburgh," and found her way to UPMC. She navigates the site and she finds neurosurgery and a list of surgeons and their bios. She clicks on Robert Max Freelander, MD. His bio, major. And then it lists his specialties, one of which is Chiari malformation. Fantastic. But how was she going to get in? She wasn't sure, but she called anyway. She encounters the nicest person on the other end of the line and explains her situation. And after a brief hold, she returns and says, "Can you come in on Thursday?" Completely stunned, she replies, "This Thursday? May 19th? Absolutely. And that woman was me. So, good morning, class of 2027. Wait, let me try that again. I said, good morning, class of 2027. Now that's more like it. Faculty, staff, friends, and other guests, good morning to you as well. And what a great day it is for all of us to gather together. Now, it's my understanding a physician usually gives the keynote address at the white coat ceremony, so imagine my surprise when I received the invitation to speak. I am humbled. It's an honor and privilege to stand before you, and I do not take it lightly. Thank you for allowing me to share in this very special moment as you embark on your journey to becoming physicians. The road to med school is not the easiest to travel. Let's be honest, it's hard. But today I come with good news. You made it. Your hours of dedication, the chem lab, volunteering, research, studying for the MCAT or AMCAS, writing your personal statements, finding your list of recommendation letter writers, you had mock interviews. Maybe you took a gap year or completed a post-bac. Whatever your path, you stayed the course and it paid off. You're here in Pittsburgh, the Still City. There are lots of hills and plenty of potholes. You're in the city of bridges where the people bleed black and gold and put French fries on their salads. Friends, you are first-year students at the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine. Has that sunk in yet? If it hasn't, take a moment and allow it to. You have come to an institution committed to educating the future's finest clinicians and investigators. Leaders, I'm talking about you. Look around, see your classmates. No, look. Yeah, they're smart, talented, and deserve to be here. So remember, you are smart, you are talented, and you deserve to be here. So you want to be a doctor. Are you sure about that? It comes with a lot of weight. I'm not here to discourage you, however, it is a valid question. What is your why? I can't answer that for you, but as a patient, I sure hope your answer includes the desire to help, dare I say, to heal the sick. Sure, there's a lot of prestige that comes with being a physician, but I'll let you in on a little secret. If adulation is what you're seeking, respectfully, you've chosen the pursuit of the wrong profession. MaryMartha, why do you care about my why? What does it matter? It matters because when you are clear about your why, everything you do has intention. To put in all of this work just to aimlessly walk around Oakland, that doesn't serve you. Your why is what will get you through the challenging moments of med school. Your why is going to be the fuel to get you out of bed on the days you would rather sleep in or call it quits. Your love for science and memorization skills is not enough to sustain you over the next 4 years and beyond. Your why is grounding. It gives you purpose. The practice of medicine, healthcare as we know it, it's not working. This is where you come in to disrupt the status quo. We need your passion and desire to make a positive impact within healthcare and in the lives of the patients you will encounter. Patients like me. Your backstory and life experiences are needed to give a new perspective and breathe new life into how we approach medicine. Medicine is a collaborative art, and it takes each of you working together to make change. Healthcare is not perfect, but what is? Nothing is without fracture. There's a lot of problems within our healthcare system. High cost of care, lack of insurance coverage, preventable medical errors, inefficiencies. There isn't a standardized level of care. Oftentimes, the quality of care is determined by location, condition, or insurance plan. I grew up not too far from here. My family did not have a lot of money, and going to the doctor was a luxury. I didn't go to a fancy doctor's office. I went to a medical clinic on Hamilton Avenue in Homewood, Alma Illery. Believe it or not, I was speaking to my mother yesterday. I had to let her know that I made it here from New York City safely. And as we were talking, she reminded me of a medical issue I had as a child. I hadn't planned on sharing this story, but I think it's fitting to the conversation about lack of insurance and quality of care. I was either 5 or 6, and I had like skin issues. I scratched all of the time, and then it moved to my scalp. My scalp was bleeding, scabbing, oozing. My mother wanted to take me to the hospital. However, my father's distrust of doctors, coupled with the possibility of having to pay a large bill, he said no. She took me anyway. So she arrives at the emergency room and she explains what had been happening to me for a few weeks. The doctor looked at her, looked at my scalp, and accused her of abuse. They suggested that she had allowed bed bugs, insects, to bite me, which was not the case at all. My mother said we were there for hours because her parenting, the ability to take care of me, was now in question. I could hear my mother getting upset as she recounted the story, how she was treated, the embarrassment the police and child protective services were called. My mother was advocating for her child. I had eczema. I needed a treatment plan. And 38 years later, she can relive it as if it were yesterday. I have to be honest with you. If I had a magic wand to eliminate the high cost of healthcare and the best medical insurance, if I lived in a large city with lots of hospitals, you know what my biggest issue would be? Finding a good doctor. What's a good doctor? How does one quantify that? We've all seen the list of qualities. Aside from being well-trained with a solid knowledge of science and medicine, a doctor is caring, has empathy. They know how to make a patient feel cared for, to be heard. They are honest, kind, humble, with great communication and interpersonal skills. And for me, that person is Dr. Freelander. He is the epitome of a good doctor. He knows his stuff, that's a given. However, it's his demeanor. He's kind, compassionate. He sees me, the person. He's patient. He answers all of my questions to ensure I have all of the information to make a sound decision. I trust him. You know, that day that we met, I was a nervous wreck. I didn't know what to expect. I felt taken care of from the time I entered the office. The receptionist, nurses, physician assistant, residents, everyone I came in contact with made sure that I knew that I mattered. I was in so much pain, and all I wanted was for someone to listen, to not dismiss me, someone to genuinely want to help me to get better. Up until then, no one had even shown me my scans. He made sure that I understood my diagnoses, what surgery meant, and was honest about the possible outcomes. Confident, knowledgeable, optimistic is how I felt leaving the office that day. Dr. Freelander, you restored my quality of life, and I cannot thank you enough. Dr. Freelander and UPMC has made it very difficult for other health systems as it pertains to me. The bar has been high. It has been set so high, and there is a level of care that I've grown accustomed to. And when I don't get it, I am not silent about it. I shared that story with you because it's important for me to illustrate from a patient's point of view what being a good doctor in practice looks like. It's the experience. How do you want your patients to experience you? That's the key in being a good physician. So in closing, I'm so excited for you to be here and to learn at this fine institution. Soak it up and remember what I said earlier. You're smart, talented, and deserve to be here. We need your passion and desire to make a positive impact within healthcare and in the lives of the patients you will serve. Challenge status quo, give a new perspective, breathe new life in how we approach medicine. Hold yourself and each other accountable to do what is right. Remember your why, and in all things, move with honesty, integrity, and do no harm. Thank you. Thank you. you. Wait. I mean, you can come up here. Okay, so everyone sit down because the epilogue, right? So, what happened? This August 18th will be 12 years since I underwent decompression surgery for Chiari malformation here at UPMC. The surgery was successful, and since that time, I have figured out how to live the best life I know how while managing a brain disorder. A few years ago, I developed another condition, idiopathic intracranial hypertension. Will they learn about that? Okay. Okay, great. That's elevated cranial pressure, and that caused some severe neurological problems for me. Earlier this year, there was talk about the need for a second brain surgery. Before moving forward with the procedure, it was important that we exhaust all other options to reverse my symptoms. I took a holistic approach and medicinal approach and focused on nutrition and physical health with Core Rhythm Fitness Center in New York City, where I live. I released a significant amount of weight and have improved my diet and overall wellness. I am happy to report that I have reversed my symptoms and I have not had a headache since March. My quality of life has improved, and I'm not sure that I've ever felt as good as I feel today. It is not lost on me that my situation is not like a lot of people who have Chiari malformation. Most of the people that I know who I've become friends with have had multiple brain surgeries. They struggle daily. I send a lot of them to Dr. Freelander for help too. And so while I stand here, I do think of them. And I know that some of them are listening, and I'm doing this for us. That's why I'm wearing purple. Purple is the sign, the color for Chiari as well. And so before I take my seat, I'd be remiss if I did not acknowledge and thank Roger Covington and Giancarlo Carlini at Core Rhythm Fitness. Giancarlo, he's my trainer. Dr. Kanicki and Dr. Bonham here at UPMC, as well as Dr. Simonetto and Dr. Oliveira at Weill Cornell. Medicine is a collaborative art, and it's the collaboration that has made it possible for me to continue living my best life. So again, congratulations, and I wish you much success on your journey to becoming physicians. Thank you.
Please welcome Irene Sheng, Sarah Clendenning, Aaron Mossberg, and Alexandria Lee from the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra performing the Wisteria Waltz